Minds are like parachutes. They only function when open. So please keep your minds open when I give you the new perspective on electric power. So this is a picture of the Nordic power system, energy system, or is it? We have nuclear power, we have old hydropower, we even have fossil energy, and we have new green power like solar and wind. But is this correct? I will now give you the new perspective on the product electricity, and I say that this is actually a misconception. The product that we buy, all of us in our homes, is not mixed. We think it is, but then I would like to state that Mark Twain was a smart guy. So here I deposit 500 crowns, you see the 500 crown banknote, and then I rush out the door and I take out the exact same 500 crowns. I know it's the same 500 crowns because I used to have 2,700 crowns and then I had 3,200 crowns. And I deducted 500 again, so this here is the exact same 500 crowns that I deposited just half a minute before. It's not the same banknote, but it is the same money. So this is an abstraction to know that there is a difference between banknotes and money. And we have accepted this abstraction. I'll give you one more example. Here is a stack of banknotes in an ATM, and you and I, we come there at the same time. If you go before me, the top of the stack, the top banknote will be your money if you go before me. But if I go before you, that same banknote will be my money. This is definitely an abstraction, but it is an abstraction that we have accepted, that the same banknote can be either your money or my money, but it's the same banknote. And I will show you now that banknotes and kilowatt hours, the anonymous agents of the power grid, the kilowatt hours, they have a parallelity. So a banknote is anonymous and a kilowatt hour is anonymous. Here is your electric kettle at home and here is mine, and between us we have this electric grid, and if you press your button at time t equals 0, you get your electricity, of course. You can't take my electricity. But if instead you wait half a second, I would get the exact same kilowatt hour, but that would then be my electricity. It's a parallel with the ATM situation. So either you or I get the exact same banknote, and it can be your money or my money, or we get the exact same kilowatt hour, and that can be your electricity or my electricity. This is an abstraction, and it is an abstraction that has proven to be hard to accept because we are so very well taught that power mixes on the grid. But the product electricity does not, actually, because now we have a way of making an audit, guarantees of origin. So we have two different anonymous agents, and they mix, the anonymous agents mix, but the money doesn't mix and the electricity does not mix. And we live in an energy system that has lots of coal power, lots of fossil power, and the ones of us who buy green power, we deduct all the guarantees of origin, and then the leftovers, the residual, is actually a very dirty product. It has at least 40% fossil content of that electricity. And if you don't want coal power, you simply don't buy it. If you don't want to have drug money in your account, you don't sell drugs. And here's the Swedish Energy Market Inspectorate doing the audit, which is lethal. It has to be done. So it's not the laws of Ohm and Kirchhoff that rule the power market. It's the laws, the law of supply and demand. And it's not the currents of electrons that develop the energy system. It's the currents of money. The power that no one buys will not be produced. If no one buys coal power, there will be no coal power produced. That's a choice we have. So this is our de facto choice. We can choose what money we have in our bank accounts. We cannot choose what banknote we get in our hand. We can choose what product electricity we have in our home. We cannot choose what kilowatt hour that we actually physically consume. So this picture where all power is mixed on the grid is actually a misconception. So we have to dare to leave that old picture behind. So what happens if everyone wants green power? Well, what happens if everyone wants blue rubber boots? The law of supply and demand makes the market dynamic. If everyone wants blue rubber boots, they will have it. I will not say when, I will not say to what price, but the market will supply so that supply and demand meet. And this, of course, works for green power as well as blue rubber boots. We know it will work because we have so much solar energy given to us for free. So in only 2 hours' time, we get the same amount as we human beings use during a whole year. We get that in only 2 hours' time. We get it for free, it's clean, it's renewable, it has a power of 89 petawatt being poured into the globe every day of the year. Prices are going down. Solar power is a sharp decline in price, and also wind power has been declining. Batteries, prices are going down. Prices are going down on lithium-ion batteries, but it's important to notice that batteries is not the only solution to energy storage and power regulation, because we do need to store energy. In this case, we store power, we store hydro in hydropower stations, and we also have the possibility not only hydro but hydrogen. We can produce hydrogen gas, we can store in batteries, we can use biogas generators, other fuels, solar fuels, we have fuel cells, and we have to make a power regulation. We have to have 50 hertz, and the grid being stable at 50 hertz is the same as the parallel to having all the ATMs stacked with bills, with banknotes, so that we can make large and sudden withdrawals every day of the week. So this is just a list of all the possibilities that we have of energy storage and power regulation, and there's really only one reason to fail, and that's if we decide that we cannot fail, because we have so much clean and green energy. Last question. So if you are sent out to this terrible little town, Drugsville, and the 25th of the month you're going to the bank and taking out your salary, and you know that everyone in this town is trading drugs. The cashier at the bank manager, everyone is dealing drugs. Does that mean that you withdraw drug money from your account? Is that your salary? Suddenly your salary is drug money? No, of course not. So we know for sure that you do only take out the money that you deposit. And that's the parallelity with the electric grid. We can not choose what banknotes we get in our hand at the bank or at the ATM, but we can choose. We have a moral choice of what kind of money we have on our bank accounts. We cannot choose what kilowatt hours we physically consume in our home, but we do have a choice of what product electricity we choose to have in our homes. The abstraction of banknotes and money is an exact parallel to the abstraction between kilowatt hours and the product electricity. So this old way of looking at the power market is actually flawed, and we can instead. So how do you mean? Power does not mix, you say, and you know that for sure, right? So what I do say is that the audited product electricity does not mix. So there must be an audit made, and we do have the guarantees of origins being saved in an account and then audited. The anonymous kilowatt hours, they still mix on the grid. But the choice you make, the product electricity that you buy, does not mix with any other electricity. So that the thing about no, not for sure, Mark Twain explained that to us, that it's not, what gets us into trouble is not what we don't know, it's what we know just for sure, just ain't so. So the power produced here in the area of Nord Pool power market is sent to Nord Pool. The guarantee of origin is saved there until you use it. Then a guarantee of origin is cancelled. And there is no guarantee of origin unless there has been a kilowatt hour produced and consumed in the same moment. So we have the product electricity here waiting to be used by you, and then one guarantee of origin is cancelled. So we need to save energy. We need to have many different ways of saving or storing energy, and then we have to have power regulation. So those two tasks has to be fixed. And that will be done because the market works that way. If no one buys coal power will not be produced. It's not the currents of electrons that develop the energy system, it's the currents of money, and you choose what electricity you buy. And it's not the old way that then I don't know what kind of electricity I have in my home. You know that you have green power if you buy green power. So if you don't want drug money in your account, you simply don't sell drugs. If you don't want coal power in your socket, you don't buy coal power. It's very easy, really. And the sun provides us with plenty, more than plenty, of clean and green and renewable energy. We can use that. You can say no to coal. Thank you.